Welcome to Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. This power couple is building stronger marriages one day at a time, talking about real issues on love, relationships, and marriage longevity. Let's break down the barriers and engage in healthy conversation with your hosts, Jason and Tina Marie. Take a seat and buckle up because things are about to get real.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Loving Beyond the I Do.
With your hosts, Jason and Tina Marie.
That's me.
Hey, Tina, welcome back to another podcast this week. It seems like It's been so long, hasn't it?
No, not at all.
No?
No.
Because we talk all the time.
All the time. You know, it's funny. So I went and got my nails done today, guys, and my husband picked out the color. I said, honey, what color do you want? He said, blue. And I said, okay, I'm going to get blue just for you.
Yeah,
Even though it is the month of September. Ouch.
But what's funny is, it's blue, but you sent me about 15 different colors.
I sent them. I did. I sent you. I sent you variations of blue.
I just said blue. You know, it's too many variations to all these different colors when you go.
But my whole point in that was that the guy who did my hands and toes, his wife works at the place too. She loves to talk.
Okay.
And then he was talking a lot. And I said, boy, I bet you guys talk all the time, don't you? He was like, yeah, sometimes we have to stop talking because then we get into trouble and we don't remember what we said or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm sure.
They talk themselves right into trouble.
Right. So, all right. So we do talk. Do we talk all the time?
We do. We talk all the time. Sometimes? Most of the time?
I don't know. Okay. So what are we going to talk about this week, Jason?
Why is it so hard?
Hey, everybody.
Why is it so hard?
That's stupid. Anyway.
That's fine. Oh, why are we acting silly?
Okay.
Why don't we just let everyone know that we are
Silly.
on YouTube? Silly. We are silly. We are on YouTube. So
YouTube.
for those of you that's listening on the podcast, jump over to Loving Beyond the I Do and check us out over there on video.
That's our channel. So go to YouTube and then go to Loving Beyond the I Do.
Yep. Search us there. You'll find us. You'll find this video. Welcome.
And you can find us at our website. If you want to check out our website, we have gear like the ones we have on. Right, you can buy your shirt, Legendary Relationship, soon to come, more other shirts and variety. So we're putting them together, trying to get the design. So if there's a designer out there that you would like for us to work with you, please shoot us an email or DM us. But you can get some legendary relationship gear at our website, which is
legendaryrelationship.com.
Or you can just get our podcast from all the places you get podcasts, right?
That's right. Wherever you get
Apple
your podcasts,
and Google Podcasts,
Stitcher, Spotify, we're everywhere. Wherever you can get a podcast,
or,
we are there.
I'm going to do this, guys. Or you can get it from Alexa. Alexa, play Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. All right, Alexa, cancel. Alexa, cancel. She likes to act stupid too. So
wait a minute, too. Like someone else in the house acts stupid?
Yeah, no, I just said we like to act silly.
Oh, okay,
remember?
okay. Yep.
So anyway, you can even ask her to play it.
That's right. We're everywhere. Wherever you want to get a podcast, we can. All right. So don't forget, like, subscribe, share with someone because we always have nice stuff. We got a bunch of nice guests coming up too. So we're going to finish this year off right.
Right. So we also have a quiz for if you want to know where your relationship is at right now. We have a relationship quiz that is going on our website. You can go to legendaryrelationship.com and there's a link for the quiz and it'll let you know where your relationship is at. And then you'll get some feedback as to how to make it better.
That's right. 'Cause that's what we're about, baby.
That's the only thing we're about.
Taking our marriages
off
of cruise control. That's right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it this week, baby. So we're at episode number 67 here.
I think we have a shirt that says that, don't we?
What's that?
Taking our marriages off cruise control?
We sure
We do. Okay.
Yeah,
So
'cause
we
that's
have
what
one
we're
of those.
about.
Because that's what marriages happen. You get married and you stop putting into it. You stop watering it. You stop nurturing it. You stop cultivating it, and it just becomes autopilot.
That's right.
So,
like,
and then you wonder why you're not feeling loved, you're not getting love, you're not feeling emotions, you're not connected, you're not intimate. It's because we put our marriages on cruise control.
right.
And we don't even realize it.
That's true. You don't understand where we are, how we got here.
And that's with anything, I guess. You're just living day after day after day, and you think that your relationship is just going to evolve as you evolve, and it doesn't. You have to put forth some actual intention, consciousness. You have to be intentional in the type of relationship you want. You have to be conscious of the type of relationship that you want. You have to put in the work that requires you to have that relationship. But that's not even the podcast this week.
You sure? Because you're like going down that road, baby. I'm just
Okay,
gonna follow
so this week, what are we talking about?
We're talking about why is it so hard for us or you to do the right
Hey,
thing?
well, that's all in alignment with the same thing, right?
Yes. it
So
is.
why it's so hard for us to do the right thing
Right. In our relationship.
in the relationship, right? That's what we're
Okay.
talking about. So
Right.
we're talking about, so we pick up a book and we read it.
Yes.
And we see all these great things that we should do to have a good relationship,
But we don't always do them.
but we just don't do it. Or we do it a little bit and
Oh.
then we stop.
Or we cherry pick. We'll do a little of this and maybe say we'll try this because I know my mate so well.
We'll take courses, we'll spend money, we'll ask people, we'll read, we'll search, we'll research, we'll investigate, we'll look at other marriages.
Oh boy.
And we know what it takes to have a good relationship, but we just won't do the right thing. We just won't
So
do
you're
the
saying that we will go out, get all this information, but we won't implement that information.
work. Or we think the other person should, right?
Yeah. Well,
Hey, this is what I read, so you should do this, right?
for my research, you need to be doing this.
Right. The person comes back and say, hey, according to this, we should be doing this, this, and this. So you haven't bought me flowers, or you haven't showed me love, or you haven't done this. So, or the thing is that why is it so hard? And I guess that's in anything, but right now we're just talking about relationships. Why is it so hard for us to do the right thing? And what I mean by that is that we know, right? So this is just an example. We know that men like sex, right?
Yes.
Okay, not saying that women don't, but majority of the time, the way the chemical makeup is, men want more sex than women.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll give you that.
That's like a natural.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
This is
Right.
not something I'm making up, right?
Nope, you're not
So,
making it up.
What I'm saying is that we know that men like more sex. So as women, what we do is we know, in order to get the love, right, we must give the love.
Right.
But we don't want to do the right thing. We don't want to have sex with our spouse because they made us mad. So what I have to tell people is that sex to your mate, sex to your husband is the same thing as him going shopping with you, right? Him doing things for you outside of bed. So we get upset when our husband won't go shopping with us, our husband won't help us clean, or our husband won't help us with the kids, or whatever it is that we want them to do and they don't do it, we get upset. And so I don't want to have sex because I don't feel like having sex. I don't feel all in love. Well, that's how he feels when you react to what he didn't do. So why don't we do the right thing? If I'm, give them,
So what it seems like you're saying is, to do the right thing, you must compromise. That's part of it.
I'm just saying do the right thing. I'm just saying right. So we want our mate to do something outside of bed.
Right.
And when they don't, we get upset and we say, well, I don't feel like making love, or I'm tired, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But we don't understand that's exactly how he feels about what you want him to do.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my equivalent to what I want you to do outside of bed is your equivalent of me doing it in the bed.
Okay.
So
okay.
instead of me doing the right thing, saying, okay, well, I want him to show me more love outside of the bed.
Right.
So I'm going to do more love in the bed. We do the opposite.
Yeah.
So
and then nothing gets done.
Or we don't get the love we want because we think, okay, well, if I'm not giving him love and I know he wants it and I'm not giving it to him, then that's going to make him do what I want him to do. No, if I give him what he likes, then he's going to give me what I like. It is part of compromise, but the point is that we have to understand how we both think, how men and women think.
I think that's important.
Right. So
I know we think totally different.
right. So
in a sense.
So let's just think. So most men say, you know what? She didn't give me sex last night. I'm not washing the dishes. I'm not going shopping with her. I'm not going to do that because they
Right.
feel like, well, I'm not getting what I want. I don't feel loved. Well, and it makes people more apt to say, I'm not going to do what the other person wants
Right.
because I'm not getting what I want.
Right.
Instead of looking at it
Without speaking that, without saying it.
without saying it.
Right.
Right.
So if you're
Instead
not
of-
saying it, no one knows. Again, we're not mind readers in this relationship.
Exactly. So men are not going shopping, not doing this, not doing that, because they're not getting what they want.
Right.
And then women aren't going to give you, have sexual relations or intimate relations because we're not getting what we want.
Okay.
And the thing is that we both can be happy, and we both can have intimacy, and we both can have fulfillment if we stop looking at withholding what we don't have and giving the person, putting the other person first, but you at the same time. We have to look at it differently. You can't withhold something hoping that you're gonna get what you want.
Right.
If I'm giving you what I know you like, if I know you like chocolate ice cream, why would I give you vanilla?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So
Right.
my point is, if I know if it's something that you like, why not give you what you like? You in return are going to be happy and more loving,
Sure.
and then turn around. And I would say grateful, probably. I don't know. But,
Yeah, well, you would be. And you know what? And you using sex
it
as an
makes-
example, or intimacy as an example, well, that goes across the board. It don't just have to be that. It could be,
Right.
A nice meal that I like.
It could be anything,
Anything.
but we have
Right.
to stop thinking that. So, as I said, it's so hard to do the right thing, right? So we think that we shouldn't have sex, or we shouldn't give you what you want because you're not displaying to us what we want or what we like. But in order to do that, you have to flip the script. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different outcome.
That's true.
Right? We already know that's the definition of insanity. But I'm just saying we have to ask ourselves, why am I not getting this love? Why is he not showing me or giving to me the things that I love and enjoy that's going to add to my happiness? Probably because I'm not
giving, right.
Exactly.
If I'm feeling unfulfilled, I'm going to show that to you. In the sense that I'm not going to give you things to make you happy. I mean, unintentionally, right? I'm not going to just be sitting there like, I'm going to make you upset. It's just
Right.
that I'm not going to go out of my way.
Right.
I know what makes you happy.
That's the key word. We're not going to go out of our way.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing. But when we go, but let's just flip the script. Let's just say if I go out of my way to give you things that you like, what do you think you're going to do?
I'm going to go out of my way to
Right?
reciprocate that.
Exactly.
I'm just,
And
I'm going to want to do that. It's not going to feel like it's a chore or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we have to understand. When you're actually giving the person something that they enjoy, you get enjoyment from making them happy. And then in turn, like you just said, you're going to want to reciprocate it to me, but it's not going to feel like a chore. You're going to want to do those things for me because you know that it makes me happy.
Or if I give you something or I surprise you with something, or either way, and your reaction may be fulfilling to me, and you may know that.
Right.
And you'll go, okay, thanks. Like, wow, thank you. I'm appreciative that you said thank you, but I was looking for a little bit more, so. And that's a way to be like, you could do the right thing. You're excited about to give. You wanted to give, or whatever it is. And then you just say, oh, thank you.
I think we know within us.
Oh, yeah, we do.
The right things to do.
Yes.
We just don't do it. It's sort
For
of,
whatever reason.
For whatever
Right.
reason. For whatever reason. It's
Yes.
just like when we pray, right? We pray for a certain thing, and that thing can walk right past us. We'll pray
never
for
see
it. And the thing is that we want it to be a different way. We don't want it to be the way God's way, or we don't want it to be the way that it should be. We don't want to do the right thing. We don't want to compromise. Well, I don't want to be with that person, or I don't want to do what he says, or I don't want to, so sometimes the reason why we don't have happiness in relationships, or our relationships are not moving in a very loving and upward type of momentum, is because we just won't do the right thing at the right time when it needs to be done.
I have to agree with you on that.
We'd rather, y'all got to excuse me, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
We would rather hold to our ego,
For sure.
hold to being upset,
Yes.
hold to, well, I did it last time.
And it's your turn to do it this time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. So what are you doing?
As you say, what do you say? Keeping score?
I was just going to say, yep, keeping score. I did it 5 times. It's time for you to do something. I made up the bed 3 times this week. Why you can't make it up 1 time?
So what do you think about that? As far as being a man and looking at women and men not giving women the love they want, like, you know,
It could be. All right, it could go back to the
because
whole. It
you
could
being
go
a
back to the
man-
whole. Right, it could go back to the whole sex thing. Right. So it's not a lot of intimacy going on.
do you think sex makes men act makes men act differently towards their wife?
Yeah, more loving.
Yeah.
More open. Yeah, for sure.
Love just like
It oozes out. Right. It just comes out. Right. I'm just saying.
But it's just something about men and sex. When you all have sex, you're just more loving.
okay.
So you can tell a man does not.
Loving. He's got some issues at home. They say that
You can
about
tell-
women, but okay.
Women too.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
I think. Well, see,
It's something to be said for someone that wants you, and you can share that time with someone else. It is that closeness and that bond that's built during that intimacy time. That is, I mean, you can't put a word to it. It's just it's undescribable. It is what it is.
I'm still laughing at the fact that you said women too, because that is true.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, people used to say that, oh, I can tell, you know,
Yep.
when they haven't had, you know, oh, they need to get them some. And I think there's some truth to that, because I said, I'm going to pay attention to you. You know, I did my own study. I'm going to pay attention.
I'm part of the research
Just wanted to see if
for
there
this
was
podcast.
Just wanted to see if there was any
okay.
truth to that. This was
Okay.
years
Okay.
ago.
Past research. Okay.
Right. And I was like, wow, there is a difference. You act different when you have,
Okay. Well,
when
you
you
can't be.
fulfill.
All right. Well, first of all, ladies, you can't be weaponizing no intimacy. I can tell you that now. You don't do that.
Weaponizing?
Yeah.
Weapon.
Weaponizing.
No, I don't do that. I just wanted to see
I know, but I'm saying that's how we view it.
what. Will you
Yeah.
men view it as like it's a weapon?
Yeah, you're gonna use it as a weapon. You're gonna pull it out and use it as you see fit, right? So,
And how do you all see it? Like it's just something that should be done, right?
I mean, yeah.
How do you all view sex? Like you think you all should just have, you know,
Yep.
That's
Go
probably-
ahead, finish that sentence. Yep. All the time. Yes.
that's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
But
what my mind
a
went.
lot of the time, right?
Yes.
Or you would like to feel loved when you want love, right?
Yes. I'm sorry that we want to have it more than you guys, but that's just how it is. I mean, we do, and there's nothing wrong.
Why
but
are you sorry? You don't have to be sorry.
but you know what? Sometimes
That's
it's,
just a thing
but
that
this
we
is-
should understand in relationships.
We should understand that as far as women and men.
And I
can s-
agree. I agree with you with the fact that we should stop weaponizing it. I definitely feel that way.
Yeah. And then we turn around and weaponize things that we can to
yep.
get back.
And we, as women, we don't even see that. We think that we're doing something because we're holding the sex, and it's just a monopoly. I mean, a domino effect. It's
Right.
just that is creating all kind of chaos in the rest of our relationship
For sure it is.
because we think we hold the key.
Right.
That ain't the key.
No, it's not. Now we're
It's
not
the-
communicating and everything else falls apart. We're not respecting each other like we should. It's all
Or
down
you're
here.
just not doing things because you want to, because you're like,
Right.
I don't feel happy.
I really don't care too much about your feelings, right?
Right.
Because when I was open and was feeling open to you, I felt like you didn't care about my feelings. Not saying that sex is the only time
Right.
or intimacy is the only time you care about someone's feelings. I'm just saying
As
men
a
are more
man, as a
is more
man.
vulnerable during that time. And we really feel slighted when we get shunned. And anybody does in any situation.
That's true. That's true.
But I'm just saying, men, our feelings get hurt, right?
You feel
Rejection
like we
doesn't
don't
feel
want you,
good
right?
on anybody.
We feel
Right.
like we,
Right, exactly. That's exactly what we feel like.
and instead of women or us or the withholder
Mm-hmm.
communicating to the other person why they don't want to have sex, well, I think, again, it goes back to communication. We need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to communicate, do the right thing in our relationship, which means that we have to find a way to communicate effectively. Me not talking to you, I guess I shouldn't say me, you all, us, I don't know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
relationships,
That's us.
marriages.
It's us just
Right,
We
so-
group us all together.
Right. We have to find a different way to rewrite the story of relationships.
Right.
We have to be more open. We have to take a lot of our ego out of it.
Or
Sometimes
things that we taught. That's the thing. We taught to withhold sex
I think if we-
and do this and not go here with the wife and this and that.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean,
my
let's-
mom would always say, love, cures all. And I truly believe that if we do more things out of a loving spirit and do it not because we want something in return, but we're really trying to please our mate, because the intimate thing is right. The ultimate thing is that I want you to be happy and you want me to be happy, right?
For sure.
And we want to be happy in our relationship. So how do I get that? How do I make you happy? I make you happy by doing the right things.
Right.
I doing the things, whether I'm upset or angry. If I do more of the right things, then more love and happiness
will come out of our relationship.
It will.
Right.
It will. And I just can't
And
stress
then we'll
that
be
enough.
showing it across the board. Because
Right.
if you show me so much love and respect, I can't help but turn around and show
Right.
you that.
And
Now,
then I'm going to appreciate that, and I'm going to do more. I'm going to feel
Right.
happier because now at least I feel like he loves me.
Right.
At least I feel like he pays attention to me. He is interested in me. Like I am worth his time or whatever, right?
Right.
Because ultimately, all we want to do, everybody just wants to be loved.
yes.
We all want to be loved. When we lash out at each other or we're upset or we're arguing, if we were loving, if we loved each other, those things wouldn't happen. Ultimately, the root of all of everything is that we want to be loved and respected and heard, and we can't do that if we keep doing the wrong things.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said, that everyone wants to be loved. Ah, man, we sure do. I mean, I mean, we do. I mean, it seems so simple, right?
It is.
Right. We just want to
we
be loved.
make it
But
complicated.
we don't know how to express that.
We know how to express it
Well,
by doing the
we-
right thing and not the wrong thing.
Right. Well, we have to be willing to do the right things. Like I said,
So,
we know the right things to do.
Like
We just
you said,
don't do it.
Like you said, keeping score. You're
Yeah.
right. Hey, honey, will you bring me this? No, I'm not bringing you that because you didn't bring me this.
Right. Right.
You know, so where does that go?
Oh, it goes downhill after that.
Right. I mean, in
And
our
it keeps going.
relationships,
Right.
what are we nurturing our relationships with if we're keeping score, if we're playing tit for tat? If I'm not doing it for you because you didn't do it for me, well, I'm not going with you because you didn't go with me. I'm not going to show you love because you didn't give me love. How can we want and say we want happy relationships, but we're not willing to do the right things?
Well, we have to recognize what the right things are, which
We
we know.
We know what the right things are.
We know what the right
It's
things
the
are.
opposite of what we thinking. It's the opposite of what
So
we
you
thinking.
gotta get rid of some of that old thinking and what you've learned and what you've heard. Now, like I said,
Try something new.
You do. You try something new. Now, if you're reading relationship books and then you're going to conferences and things of that nature, you
And
need
then
to
you're
go
not
home.
applying it.
Right.
or-
Which is
and
crazy, right?
And applying it to the fact that you don't have to wait for your mate to do it. You do it.
Right.
If you want a new mate, you want a new relationship, you want a new you, get rid of the old you.
Right. And
You
you'll
are the
have that
one-
new relationship.
You
Trust me.
can't, because if your mate changes, he don't want the same old you.
Right.
Right? Because you're still going to be bringing the same baggage to the relationship. So if you want a new relationship or a more loving relationship, put more love in it. We said this before. If you want a happier relationship, be happier. Right?
So if you put love in it,
I can't be mad and angry and
and then expect
arguing
them to be
at
like,
you.
man, we don't have a good relationship. Try being happy for 15 days. No matter what the situation is. Look at the sunny side of everything, right? And see how that changes your relationship. All right. So that makes a big difference. All right. So if you do that, then you come back in 15 days like, you know what, that made a big difference. We're happier and all of a sudden some things bothered me. And then we were able to talk about it. But we, in that 15-day time frame, we stayed happy.
Or what we have to do is when things come up, because, when we try to change things, that's when things really stir up and things start going haywire. What we have to do is look at the same situation and do it something different, right? Don't do the same thing you've always done. Try something different.
Yep.
So we're going to commission you guys to try a 15-day challenge.
Of being happy?
Of
And
being-
finding the good in all of
Doing
your
the right
conversations
thing.
and your interactions.
Doing the right thing.
Yes.
So even if your husband says something angry to you or derogatory, or he didn't do or she didn't do what they were supposed to do, you do the right thing. You respond in a loving way. As our teachings and the unity says, right thinking followed by right actions, followed by right reactions, by words, right? So we have to do the right things.
So we have to be right. We have to be right in this whole situation. Right thinking followed
Not
by right
I'm
action.
right. I'm right.
I know
I'm
that.
right. I'm right. No.
No.
Right.
Not that right. But you know what's right.
Right thinking, right feeling, right actions,
Right reactions.
Right. So, and it's one more. I said it the first time, but let's try to look at things in a different way.
For 15 days.
For 15 days. 15 days. And you can tell your mate or not tell your mate.
And see.
Sometimes I would say don't tell your mate.
I was just going to say that. See, I mean, because.
See the difference.
See the difference. See how you have changed as an individual, because that's the first thing that's going to happen. And if you people like, I want a better relationship. Okay, become a better you. And how do you become a better you? Be a happier person. So
or
if you
change the way you do things.
Change the way you do it.
How you view things.
And how you interact.
How you look at stuff.
There you go. So for 15 days, you're going to be looking all nice and happy.
And I hate to cut you off, but like what we were doing, how you react to things.
Oh yeah, that's
the biggest thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you good and everything for what you're going to do, but then somebody say something, you go, what? Yeah, so it's all about
speaking, right? So talking, because it was right thinking, feeling. So 15 days, and I would say don't tell your mate. Let's just see if you see a difference in your mate. And we don't know if more men listen to our show or more women, but try it. Try it and see the type of response and the love and just the change. People are, your mate might ask you, what's wrong with you?
Right.
What's up with you? What's going on?
You feeling okay?
Yeah. So let's try to do the right thing.
And we're not talking about being phony, first of all, right? So
being genuine.
Wanting
to change.
Because you want to be happy.
You do.
Right. And sometimes you react to things just because of what you've seen in your past and how, all of that stuff.
And being happier is so much easier.
It is.
It's so much less maintenance.
It is.
Why do we have to be high maintenance? I don't know.
We don't. We don't have to bring a lot of drama in our relationships and none of that kind of stuff.
No.
If we don't want to. What you have in your relationship is because you want it there.
Right. So we're going to, for 15 days, try to do something different. If your mate comes in and you know what they would like when they get in, they don't want to hear the bickering. They don't want to hear the arguing. They don't want to hear the nagging. Do something different. And do it genuinely from your heart, because you want to try to see where the relationship is failing. And if you do your part in changing, guarantee they're going to come along and change too.
That's right. Because if my partner changes, then I'm going to have to change, because I can't react to her the same way. Because
you wouldn't
she's
need
going
to, right?
Because she's going to be different. So now I'm going to have to react to her, the new person, the loving person, the person that changes the way that she responds to me.
If you and your mate
so our interaction now is different.
Let's start with, for those out there who do not kiss their mate before they leave.
Okay.
Right? So that's the first thing. Every time we leave the house or leave each other, let's kiss our mate. And if you don't do that, start doing it. So and if you do it, add some little touch to it.
Kudos.
No, just a little touch. I'm not talking about starting nothing, y'all.
Right.
I'm just talking about, a hug with the kiss, a touch,
right.
And I love you or I appreciate you. Let's start with some of the love languages. Let's start with giving gifts, giving words of affirmation, telling them that you appreciate them, because life is short. And let's think, if our mate was gone tomorrow, what would we have done differently?
That argument wouldn't have mattered as much.
Sometimes
or you being mad and not speaking for a week wouldn't have mattered.
It's the bigger things that matter. And if we take a seat and sit back and ask ourselves, why am I unhappy, or why do I get upset? It's because, like I said before, we all just want to be loved.
That's right.
And how do we get it? You get love by giving love.
So if you want more love, you give more love. So if you want a happier relationship, let's be happy. Let's have a healthy one.
Let's do the things that's going to make our relationship more loving, more happy or happier, more easy flowing.
You don't always have to react like the way you have in the past. You can change.
Absolutely, because you changed that way. That's not how it was in the beginning, or you never would have got together.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. If it was like that and you still got married, then okay.
So this is going to be our 15-day challenge of putting our relationships back on the right track to being happier. And it's going to take some work and some conscious decision and intention on the part of the person who is listening to this podcast to want to make a difference in their relationship.
And it has nothing to do with the other person now. If you're on this journey, you start this journey And I'm like, look, I'm trying to be nice to you, and then you doing this. No, we're not doing that, right?
That does sound like something somebody might say, right?
That's not what we're doing.
You have to
This
change
is an
your
internal,
mindset.
right? This is an internal change. You really doing it and being happy for you, because if
You are.
what you're doing is you're changing what you're seeing in your relationship. So if you're changing, when you look out, your relationship is going to look different. It's going to look a lot happier. It's going to look a lot authentic and intentional with what you really want in your relationship.
You know, I'm thinking it's sort of like, you can tell when somebody starts dating somebody. If it's a person that you've known for a while, and then all of a sudden they're happier,
and
they're
giddy,
smiling,
and they're dressing
and
different.
you must be seeing somebody. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is it that when we start to see somebody, that kindles something in us that makes us happier, and we're just bubbling out? We don't even realize that we're happier. It's the same thing in our relationships. Our relationships can have that back, but we have to start with ourselves.
100%, baby.
And we have to do the right thing. Change the way we think. Stop wanting the other person to do it first. You do it.
Change the way we react. Change the way we
talk.
act,
We speak. Yes, the whole thing. The way we do things. The way we look at who should do it and why it wasn't done. When we want to nag, when we want to argue, when we want to complain. All those things.
When we want to push those buttons that we know how to push.
Let's push the love buttons.
There you go. So we're pushing love for 15 days.
15 days. 15 days.
Yep.
That means we're thinking differently, we're acting differently, we're talking differently, we're reacting differently, and we're
all coming from a place of love. When we say differently, it's all coming from a place of love. Find the bright spot in all of those situations in your life.
And when you start actually, honestly, when you change your mindset and look at things in a different way, especially from the perspective of the other person or from a perspective of, I just want to be happy, then it's not a chore.
No, it's not. If you change your mindset, you change your relationship.
You do. And it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And you feel easier, and you don't feel like
you're trying to do it. It's just genuine at this point. Right. And they say about 15 or 21 days, 7.
I heard 7.
7.
It's a habit.
Yeah.
It all depends on whose book you read, right?
Right. And it all depends on who the person is, right? Some habits are just hard to break.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a continual everyday thing, because if not, people would have got rid of procrastination a long time ago. They still battling that.
It's just like when you have a baby, the love you feel, it's like you want to nurture that baby. You can feel that love.
And we're not trying to raise no adults.
I don't know what that means. But
you brought the baby scenario in.
I'm just saying the feeling that you get from,
Right.
So that's the same feeling you can have in your relationships again, that the feeling that you had in the very beginning when you were open and receptive to loving each other any way possible that made the other person happy.
And then the person was open and receptive to giving you that love and showing you the respect and being there for you, being your protector, all of those things, right?
It doesn't have to take a long conversation. All we have to do is just change ourselves.
Right. So for 15
days.
days.
Then the conversations come later.
Right. It's like, all of a sudden you've just been this different individual, which I like this new person though. I like our new situation.
We can tackle issues in our relationship once we get to a place of a loving place. A place of where we can at least start to love on each other the way we used to.
Right. So, just like when you look in the mirror.
Melt down those, sometimes when you touch somebody, it takes away all their defenses.
Right. Yeah. Touch them in the right spot. I mean, you just on the shoulder or touch them gently. That's all. And then, then after a while, it's just like, I was a little upset with you, but now I can't be upset with you because you just come and you show me so much love. So, all right, to wrap this thing up for 15 days, we're looking at the bright spot in our relationships, all aspects. No matter what the situation comes, believe me, if you take on this challenge,
stop withholding stuff. Let's do the right thing.
Right. So if you take on this challenge,
start giving more love if you want to get more love.
That's true, but you're going to be tested, right?
Absolutely.
There's going to be some situations, so be ready, right? It's not going to say, "Oh, I can show love for 15 days." That's nothing. Okay, so just be ready, and when you react, go, "Man, maybe that wasn't the best way to do it." So just think about it, be conscious in it.
Because we are creatures of habit.
Yes, we are.
So when you respond, your mate is going to respond in the old way because that's the only way they know.
Right. But
and it's up to you.
Right. But you need to recognize that. And if you recognize it, then you're on your way to having a healthier relationship because you know that it was part of your reaction that kind of kicked things off.
And this is what we're trying to get rid of.
Right.
The negative aspects of our relationship.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about because We have a
Legendary relationship.
And what did yours say? Our relationship is built on hard work, love, and trust. Love. Love. Got to put some love in there. All right. So as always, I keep hitting my mic today this week, guys. All right. So as always, we're
in it to win it.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Lovin' Beyond the I Do podcast. Head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave a review. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Legendary Relationship, or visit our website at legendaryrelationship.com. Till next time, remember to make every day count.